Hello and welcome to the third video in my series based on my deep run in the $500 Heads Up FTOPS tournament. This one is against UV04. This is the first of my opponents that I did actually know something about before the video started. UV04 is distinctive for being having by far the most FTOPS jerseys, meaning he's won 4 different FTOPS events. From what I understand, I've never played with him before, but from what I understand, he's a high limit stud Raz mixed game player primarily. Although I believe at least one of the FTOPS events that he won was a No Limit Hold'em Turbo, and one was a PLO tournament. So it seems like his specialty, it sounds like, is fixed limit and stud games, but certainly it sounds like he knows how to play some other games as well. And my expectation was that he was going to be a quite good player, and I was correct in that assumption. The advantage that I did have on him is that I'm sure I've played a lot more No Limit Hold'em, and especially No Limit Hold'em Heads Up than he has. Other than that, I think that he was I think he's definitively a better all-around poker player than I am, and it's really only I have some more experience in precisely this situation. But you'll see that he plays quite a unique style, and there really were not many situations where I felt like I was outplaying him, and there definitely were some where I felt like he was outplaying me. So this is going to be a pretty big difference from the first 2 heads-up matches that I played, where I really felt like I was pretty definitively the best player in those 2 matches, and that affected the way that I played. I was pushing. I was less willing to play big pots pre-flop. I was trying to avoid 3-betting too much. I was folding to a lot of 3-bets. I was letting my opponent, like I was passing on some kind of close calls in situations where it was like, people were shoving for like 10, 12, 15 big blinds pre-flop, and I was making some kind of close folds. I don't think I made any like huge hero folds, but I laid down some hands rather than take marginal spots. And I'm going to be a little more willing to play the big pots and to push some marginal spots against UV. Despite that, this does end up being quite a long match. I think there were 250 some, whatever the number, 258 maybe, players remaining in the tournament at this point, and ours was the very last match to finish. So it did end up being a long match. But I think if you do watch this video after, or before for that matter, having seen the 2 earlier with in this series, I think it'll be interesting to see some of the differences in terms of how I play against UV. But it is a long match, so let's go ahead and get it started. He opens his button first hand. I 3-bet with my kings. Obviously, I would have done that against anyone. Still going to try to feel him out initially with the pre-flop min raises and see how he responds to them. My guess is that he's going to respond a lot better than most people do because he's probably played more like fixed limit hold'em than I have. So I'm expecting that he's going to have a better understanding of like what hands he should be calling with out of position and how to play them post flop. Not that there aren't huge differences between limit and no limit hold'em in terms of how you should play when the button min raises, but I think in general he's going to have a better feel for that situation than a lot of people, and possibly including myself, would.